Hello, seekers. Wildly of Wildly Tarot and Wild Moon Medicine Collective for Women here with your December reading. And this message is in particular for the week beginning December 13th, 2021. So happy Moonday to you all. Where I am, we received our first snow of the season, so I am definitely feeling winter really begin to land in my bones and this desire to hibernate and give myself some more inward time and space. Let me know in the comments below if that is something that is feeling really alive for you as well. So before we dive into the cards this week, I also want to give you a little reminder that I have gift certificates available. So if you would like to offer some clarity and medicine to the people in your lives for the holy days that are coming up, I would be so delighted to provide them with a little bit of magic in their stocking this year. I also only have one more year in your cards reading. You can find information about that in my bio if that is calling to you. This is a really beautiful in-depth recorded reading that carries you through 2022, the year of the tiger, so that you can feel really grounded in what you're stepping into. So with all of that now in our pockets, let's step into the reading. We have a very interesting time right now. It is characterized here by the Ten of Pentacles. Actually, both of the cards that I pulled were pentacles, which is the element of earth. It's where we find our safety, our security, our groundedness. And the tens are always where we come into a completion process. So when feeling into the macrocosm, the message that I'm hearing is that with this Ten of Pentacles, we collectively are stepping out of the need to overtend, overcare, over-mother each other. This is the card, as you can see, this being has taken the kittens from this cat and is doing the tending. And there are definitely times in our lives where we need to show up and support one another. But there's this very fine line between being supportive and going overboard and not allowing people the time and space for their own process to create their own resiliency, to create their own inner strength and their inner fortitude. It's a dance. It's a dance of power with rather than power over. And it's a challenge, particularly in our Western culture. We have not necessarily developed skillfulness collectively in relating to one another. And oftentimes we see parodied in media that caring for means taking care of or taking over, rather than supporting someone in coming into their own knowing and their own healing and their own strength through the process of moving through the experience. So in feeling into this 10, what really feels like it's up in the air for all of us is this opportunity to step back into our own field and hold space for each other without having to have an opinion of one another's story or one another's journeys, right? This 2021 has been an epically fascinating and profoundly weird year. And I don't know if this is true for you, but in my life and my circles, there's been a lot of storytelling. There's been a lot of wondering and questioning about other people's choices, other people's narratives, other people's decisions, and their thinking behind those decisions, all of these things. Like we've been immersed in some time now where we're all kind of looking around and wondering, do I really know one another? Am I intimate with certain people? Is this friendship as strong as I thought it was? What do I need in a relationship? What do I require? What am I looking for in my relationships, in my family of origin connections? And this card speaks to, tickle. This card speaks to bringing to a completion any of those old habits and patterns in which we may have judged or shamed another person for their process. And instead, we're learning how to give one another space. You know, we don't need to helicopter parent one another. We're all actively independent beings learning how to be interdependent. This is one of the learnings and wisdoms from stepping into the Aquarian age, where we're learning how to come into a hive mind for a greater cause, not simply to do as we are told. And so that requires an unlearning in which we are also not doing that to one another, trying to convince one another of our belief systems, trying to convince one another, trying to overmother one another, instead of giving everyone the space to make their choices, to make their mistakes, to make their victories, to really own their lives and their processes. It's a double-edged sword. And it means sometimes we are then in communities and relationships where there are facets that we do not prefer. And so we're being invited this week to feel into, can I sit with the things that I do not prefer and still show up in my life and my relationships with loving presence? And it was also supported here by the Seven of Pentacles. 7 is the number of chaos, the number of Babylon. And this particular 7 is about pouring our focus and our time and attention and energy into work and projects that really light us up from the inside out. And then allowing our communities and those around us to witness that evolution from inside out, and allow ourselves to be fully seen and fully held in the truth of who we are. So we've got this really beautiful energy this week of taking back our focus from those around us and turning it back inward so that we can do what we are designed to do in this lifetime, because that has nothing to do with what everyone else is doing. We each have our own life path, our own soul's evolution. And this is yet again an invitation to come back home to that process, instead of expending so many brain calories and so much of our own personal store of energy focusing outside of ourselves and what everyone else is doing. That feels like the message for this moon day. It feels really connected to what we're diving into in Wild Moon Medicine Collective for Women. We're really investigating boundaries this month and how our borders help define us, as well as create honest relationships with those around us. So if you have felt any call to join in the Wild Moon Medicine Collective, here's your first little teaser. We are going to open the doors again after winter solstice. So if you were curious, if you were like, darn it, I missed the opening in September, and you would like to join us, keep your eyes and ears open. You can also join the wait list in my bio. And when that portal becomes available, you are most welcome to join. So until next moon day, take good care of yourselves. I hope that you have everything that you need, and I will tune in again with you soon.